We are doing marketing today. At the end of it, there will be a homework that you will need to submit before next Saturday.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to see that number from 5 shoot to everybody. At the end, you're not doing nobody a favor except yourself. You know, it's like you are taking these classes. Obviously, you're spending your Saturday here because you want to do something with your business. You know, so just show it. Because when you show it to yourself, others will see it, and it's basically your success. Okay, so today we're doing the marketing. So what we're talking about today is the marketing, why care about it, the process, selecting customers to serve, positioning strategies, SWOT analysis, know your market mix, vision, and mission. And we already discussed vision and mission. And I want you to understand that from last session till the end, till like we finished social media, it's a building block game. Okay, so we are building on whatever we had the last time. One thing I noticed, or maybe I got it wrong in the answers that I got answers to what solution I am and what filling the gap I am. What pleasure I am and what decreasing pain I am. It's not both. It's one or the other in every category. Okay, so you need to choose, are you a solution to a problem in the market, or are you filling a gap? Not both.
Okay.
Are you decreasing pain, or are you increasing pleasure? Not both. And when we talk about pain, we say the answer is not, I decrease the pain of people of not knowing blah, 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 blah. That's not the answer. The pain is like we discussed the last time. Remember we said how the first sentence should start with? Do we remember? Thank you. Have you ever? So the pain will be, have you ever felt this way? And when you connect with your people, when you connect with your audience, and you exactly express what they are going through, they will look at your product or your service and they will say, he gets me, or she knows exactly where I am. And why is this important? Because we're building on that today. Because marketing copies or marketing content writing is based on that. There is actually a sequence that we need to put our content marketing. And the reason that I made you do the business concept, it's because, believe it or not, part of that you would have already done what you should show on your homepage. It would have been done already for you. Because you're letting most of the people fall on your homepage on the website that we're going to be discussing on social media. So once you have that, you can build on that. You can take every part and have it in different page. Okay, so so today what we're going to do, we're going to take what we learned about vision and mission, pain and pleasure, solution and gap, and if you want me to go through it again, we will. But I want to make sure that before moving to the next step, we are getting the step before. And the only way for me to evaluate if we got everything is to look at your answers. Because I can't read your mind. I wish I could. I would have done it and saved you the trouble. But unfortunately, I can't. So that being said, so these are few definitions. We are not going to spend time on the definitions. They are already, I give it to you in your copies today. But I want you to understand what is marketing offering, marketing myopia. Marketing myopia is like when you think that what you have is the best, you know, and you don't care about your audience. It was like you are basically have a tunnel vision. And we said the last time, no one cares about your products except yourself. Thank you. So we always need to remember that. It's about the audience, what they need and what they feel. And then we have market segmentation. Market segmentation means that you can, if you market to everyone, you market to no one. So when you tell me my audience is men and women between the age of 20 to 60, tough luck. You're not going to reach them. For example, women that are mothers, their behaviors, you know, and their buying behaviors are different than single mothers. And they're both women, and they could be in the same exact age bracket.
Wow.
Okay? So we need to hone it down. We need to express exactly, like if I'm reading, and we're going to talk about that, what is an audience persona? And that persona, I should just see that person that you are describing in front of me. If you cannot define that, and it's not easy, I'm not telling you have to have it like that, and it doesn't get clear right away. It's gonna take few tweaking back and forth, and I remember I had the same problem when I started. I didn't even know where to start, and then I said, okay, even my second business, you would think that I already had the experience in my first business. I went and I said, okay, I want to hit women between the age of 25 to 65 that are stuck in their life. And then I had my mentor help me. He's like, what kind of women? The stay-home moms, the professional ones, the one graduating from college, the divorced one, the veterans coming to civilian life. And each one of them is a different way to reach them. I can reach all of them if I have different programs talking to each one of them separately. Is that clear, or you want me to go through it again? Please just stop me and tell me repeat. And I had no problem with that.
Repeat that.
Okay. When you dealing, like women, for example, or men at a certain bracket do not deal or behave or are interested in things the same way. For example, a man that is between the age of 35 to 55, being a father is different than being single. Being a veteran is different than someone that never went to military. Sometimes even having older parents, taking care of older parents, is different from someone that lost their parents. So we know how the difference is, and we need to target clearly who are we having a message for. Yes. And again, it's going to depend the marketing, and I'm going to be talking about that. It depends if you're doing a B2B or a B2C. Do we know the difference?
No.
B2B is business to business. B2C is business to consumer. The one that are dealing with B2C, business to consumer, their job is even more difficult. Because if you're dealing with businesses, the business has one vision and one mission that you have to follow no matter who you go through. You know what I mean? But for individuals, it's different behaviors, different beliefs, different values, different cultures. When you market to millennials, it's different than when you market to baby boomers.
Yes.
So that's where we need to start. And to answer your question, Mark, yes, we need to do a competitive analysis. It doesn't have to be very, very deep, because part of your marketing is knowing what your competition is offering. Right? And we're going to talk about all that today. So before the end of the day. I know it's a short day today, but I'm going to try to cover as much as I can. And you always have access to me. You know that. So we need to, in marketing, it's important to do what we call market segmentation. Meaning that you segment the market to whoever your audience is. And let me tell you, if you already know that I'm targeting women from the age of 20 to 45, you are way ahead of a lot of other people. Okay, so it will come to you. The more you work with it, the more it will come to you. But you need to keep at it. Until now, believe it or not, I'm still changing, I'm still trying to make my message better for the kind of women that I want to reach. Because I had to let go of that, but my program can reach all these people, all these women. Yes, but I'm diluting my message. And that's what we do. Jack of all trades is master of none.
Wow, okay.
The more niche you are, the more money you make. People think the other way around. If I throw a bigger net, I'm gonna make more money. No, you won't. This is studied and researched over and over and over by big people in the marketing industry. The more you go smaller, the better it is. Because you're gonna be a specialist. Yes, Romika.
When you say go smaller, do you mean
Niche-wise.
like niche meaning hone in your service?
Target
No, the target audience. We're still talking about target audience.
Okay.
Like for example, you wanna have the program for children, adults, and seniors, right?
I'll just pick one group.
And in that group, you said, I think unhealthy and overweight, if I remember well. What does it mean to be overweight? What does it mean to be unhealthy?
Define.
So within the adults, you're not taking all adults. You're taking the adults that are unhealthy, overweight. What does it mean to be overweight? Meaning 30 to 50 pounds overweight. So you are honing it even more down.
Got it.
The people that have more than 30% BMI,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Unhealthy, what does it mean? The people that are having high blood pressure regardless of their age, that have heart problems, that have diabetes. See how you're like even defining it more? And that's what I mean. Again, you want me to repeat? I will repeat. We are okay with that so far?
Yeah.
Because this is the base of marketing. If there is one thing that you can learn about marketing, is market segmentation. This is where the results you're gonna see. So perceptions is more than reality, is more powerful than reality. When we perceive something, meaning is like this is how we see it, but we forget that there are a lot of factors affecting our perception. Right? For example, and I'm going to give you an example, a live example. I told you where I'm from originally, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Egyptian, my husband is Hispanic. So one day we were in the front yard, and our neighbor came to us, and I don't know if I told you the story already.
You did.
I did, okay. So that's what perception means. People assume things based on their own perception. And that's why it's not about you, it's about the perception of the people that you're trying to cater to. And then, there are too many choices in the market. Am I in the way of people watching the slide?
I can't see it.
Yeah.
The bottom part, okay. Are we okay now?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the turners?
Yeah.
Okay. You do it.
Perfect. Thank you. So this is what we mean by having too many choices. And yes, your market, like if you are looking for skincare, there are plenty of skincare. If you are doing photography, there are plenty of photography. If you are doing security, there is plenty of security. But what is unique about you? And what's unique about you is this is what we will discuss next week.
Okay.
But today we are talking about who are you catering your service for. There are too many choices. Why would market will help people choose your services or your products rather than choosing someone else? So what is marketing? Marketing is actually identifying, anticipating, and satisfying customer needs. Meaning like you understand what they want to have and you give it to them on a silver platter. Because people have very short attention span. You will have their attention probably for 30 seconds. So you have to make these 30 seconds really count.
Wow.
By connecting with them. And changing marketing, the very simple definition of marketing is changing the wants of people to needs. For example, when Nike comes out with their $300 and $400 new pair of tennis shoes, they market to who? To the little kids, right? That they want this South Central LA or even in East LA, people that are on a lower bracket of income cannot afford this money. So what does Nike do? They will put Kobe, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? But basically, they will put whoever is huge in sports at that time. It's their hero. So they are changing the wants of these kids to needs. I want to have that. I want to be like my hero. So what do? They bug their parents morning, afternoon, and night. And what happens? The parents somehow get the money to buy the shoes.
Yes, they do.
I know they do. And it's sad. You know what I mean? Because sometimes they have, no, seriously, because not everybody can afford, honestly, I'm not going to pay $400 for a pair of tennis shoes, even if I had the money.
Absolutely.
So I'm not their target market.
Got it.
See the difference?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not their target market.
But if you have a kid,
But if I had a kid that would cry every single day and would not do his homework, and she doesn't want to go to school and will stomp her feet, though this should not be my parental skills, but that's beside the point. But yes, if I had a kid that will just insist, I will not be wanting to break my little kid's heart.
right.
So I will do anything and everything I can to change the wants to needs. And if we
Okay.
understand that example, we get marketing.
Yeah.
Okay, changing the wants to needs. It's like you're kind of forcing the people without really forcing them. And because remember, we are dealing with what? We are dealing with emotions. We're not dealing with the brain. When we make a decision to buy something, we make that decision emotionally, and then we fetch the logic to convince us that we did the right decision. This is how it is. Why would you buy a certain dress, or a certain tie, or a certain couch? Because you see yourself in the future using it and how it's going to make you feel. Right? So you connect emotionally to it, and later on, but I deserve it. I work hard. I can maybe move this money from here to here and be able to afford it. So we get the logic to explain the emotion. It's not the other way around. Is that clear? Okay. So a strategy is a plan basically devised to get the objects in front of the people. And that's, we will talk about strategies today. And it's important when you put a product or a service in the market to talk about its benefits. Remember we talked about that the last time. People connect with benefits and results, not necessarily your product. And we're going to see an example right now. So these are the strategy. We have the distribution, the pricing, the promotion, and product, and we're going to talk about that today. Don't worry, no worries. Why care about marketing? Did we know that there is a difference between marketing, sales, PR, and advertising? And believe it or not, people that work in the field still confuse between sales and marketing. So marketing is the blanket that you put all over the market so the salespeople can actually go and sell. Without that blanket, without that information out in marketing, the people will have a very hard time to sell your product or your service. You need to raise awareness. Raising awareness about your product or your service is through marketing. Okay? So we're going to talk about difference in a second. It increases your sales, it increases your market share, and obviously it will engage your proper target with you. So I'm going to give you examples of what's the difference between marketing, PR, and advertising. If a young man tells his date, she is intelligent, looks lovely, and is great, conversationalist. He's saying the right things to the right person. That's marketing. It's segment marketing. He's telling her she's the best. She is the bomb. You know, that's marketing. But if the young man tells his date how handsome, smart, and successful he is, that's advertising. If someone else tells the young man how handsome, smart, and successful her date is, that's public relations. Ro, are you lost?
Yes.
Yes, I'm lost.
Who say you're lost? Okay. There is when you advertise something, you are telling me, like when you see commercials on TV, that's advertising. When you hear it on the radio, that's advertising. But if I come to you and tell you, I connect to you emotionally by giving you praise, by telling you somehow how you are a reflection of my product. Or my product and services, actually the better word is, my product and services are a reflection of who you are. And how it can take you to the next level, that's marketing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm telling the young lady how good she looks. It's marketing.
Yes.
I'm talking about myself. It's advertising.
Exactly.
Look at her.
Exactly. Because when we see, for example, Nike, what do they advertise? They advertise Nike. And see what the word they use? Advertise.
Yes.
Commercials.
Okay.
Okay. But if I'm if they were, but if you see the infomercials are talking about the people. Like for example, when you get the insanity videos, you know, who are they talking about? They're talking about the person, how they looked before, how they will look after. What are they doing? They're not selling the program, they're selling the hope of looking like that.
Of the service, right?
The benefits of the service. Okay? PR is when I did so much marketing outside and maybe advertising that other people are talking about my services. That's public relations.
They always get customer service or they were
That's public
terrible.
relations.
Yeah.
That's public relations. Are we getting the difference? Because trust me, professionals in that industry till today sometimes don't get it. And that's why I try to put examples so we would know the difference. Yes?
So, because going back to Jack of all trades, master of none, we would take this concept just to know a criteria when we hire somebody to do this as opposed to doing it
Absolutely.
ourselves, right?
Remember, your people or you yourself should reflect the market that you are trying to reach. That's why we talk a lot about diversity into corporations and organizations, because their workforce should reflect the customer base that they try to reach. Colita, for example, wants to reach grandmothers, right?
Yes.
You are exactly in that bracket. So you are representing who you want as your market. Even if you hire younger people, all the younger people, what they're going to be talking about is their mother or their grandmother.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Starting to come together? Okay.
Yes.
I love the questions, so please keep them coming on. Please.
Wow.
So there are rules of the road. Rule number 1, it's not about you. And we said that. Rule number 2, it's not about your product or your services. In case you missed number 1. Number 3, it's not about what you know. It's about what they think. Okay? So rules of the road, it's not about, like I said, it's not about what your services mean to these people. And I keep repeating that because I wanted to hammer it inside our mind. Okay? It's about what your services mean to them. There used to be an old adage that said, build it and they will come. That's a myth. Build it and they will not come if you don't attract them. If you don't convince them that whatever you're offering is the best for them. Okay? And then another myth is what happens in Vegas, stay in Vegas. It's not true. What happens in Vegas, you can see it on Google. Everything is online right now. Everything is online. So this is something that we're going to talk about in social media. It's basically reputation management. How to select the customers to serve. Number one, it's an art and a science. So you must decide first, like we said, who you will serve, and like we said it before, and then dividing it into what we call market segmentation. And then what you do is target marketing. So after you segment the market, you target this segment. And that's, in marketing terms, we call it target segmentation. So it's important to know the demand of your customers and how you're going to offer it. That's why customer service becomes an important part of marketing. Yes?
That's a good point, when you're saying it's important to know the demand of your customers.
Absolutely.
How do you find that out?
Surveys, experience, looking at communities, especially now that we have the internet, all the answers are on the tip of our fingers.
Okay.
But the survey also, probably you're going to have a response of maybe 8 to 12%, that's it. So don't be discouraged if that's all you get. Like when you send an online newsletter, the open rate, depending on the industry, is between 14% and 24%.
Right.
So if you get 24% open rate, you're doing great.
Okay.
Okay? So ask questions. When you go to a lawyer's office, talk to the secretary. Take her out to lunch. Ask her what stands in her way between her and organizing.
And that's why I did join the legal secretary's monthly group to try to, find out things. But I just didn't know what you're talking about. But anyway, I thought that was part of the marketing. So
It's part of the marketing. I mean, the survey is part of the marketing, absolutely. Going to networking, going to associations. You know, when you sit with people around the table, ask them that question. So this is part of how to do. Again, there is no magic formula that A plus B equals C. It's never like that in survey. It's never like that in marketing. Like you said, Mark, a little of ambiguity will always be there. But you know what? If you get 5, 7 pinpointed answers to what you need to do, you're already way ahead of where you have been. Okay? Welcome. Did that answer your question, though?
yes.
Totally or no?
Well, the only reason why I answered like that, I've gone to all those kind of groups and I've done all that, but I think what I need to do is start asking questions. I never want to seem like I'm trying to push my service on someone.
But you're
I have
not.
a real problem with that, so I need to find a way, which I learned from you.
No. I think you have to discuss that with you. Why do you feel that way? Is it fear? Fear of embarrassment, fear of ridicule, fear of embarrassment, fear of rejection. But you know what? What you're doing is like, let me ask you this. Very nonchalant way. Right? Let me ask you, what do you think your biggest problem is? You're not telling her, this is what I can do for you. You're telling her, what do you think the biggest challenge that you have? You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know? It's not difficult, people. It's knowing your service. Because
Got it.
if you don't know your service, you're not going to give me the message.
Right.
As a consumer,
You can't tell them.
I'm not going to understand what you're doing.
Right.
And Rumika, you can have a full program only for children and have another different program to adults. But don't mix them. Don't say my programs are for children and adults. The wording that you use for the children will be different than the wording that you use for the adults.
Okay.
It's two separate programs.
Okay.
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 Value and satisfaction, like we said, it's about the customer perception. It's about the customer satisfaction. And it's important, that's why cross-cultural marketing is very important. Understanding also the cultures and by the way, being a male or female is a culture on its own. Being a different generation is another culture. We all have cultures, not only ethnicities and race. Okay? And I'm going to give you examples. So this is a branding strategy, and we're going to talk in details in branding next time. So let me ask you this. Who has already picked colors for their business? Based on what? Based on your likes? I'm not being sarcastic, I'm just asking. Yes, Erica.
Based on the target age group,
Okay, so which color did you use?
pink and gold,
So you are targeting women.
yes.
Okay. That's a good part. And I'm going to tell you why I'm asking. Yes, Maria.
I chose red because of the Rose Bowl.
Stay away from red.
Oh, stay away from
Or have it very minimal, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Who else has colors? Yes.
I chose orange, and the reason why I chose orange, and I have a little vendor booth, I dress all in orange, everything's in orange, but the card, I mainly did it because I deal with people with paper that's disorganized, and they never can find things or cards, and that orange, if it drops down somewhere on the desk, it stood out, it would stand out.
So it's about you. It's not about them.
Good point.
Yes.
Well, mine's the same, it's more about me, it's black and gold.
Stay away from black. And I'm going to, yes,
Well, we like, was
We like.
the blue.
we like.
Yes,
You hear
we
that?
like.
We like. Okay.
We like royal blue,
Cobalt
Royal
blue.
blue.
cobalt blue
Who's your target?
businesses.
That's a good. Yes,
Blue
sure.
is trusted.
I thought about green and yellow.
And you're trying to make a diet that is vegan, if I remember, right?
Yeah.
See, people, I promise I remember everything you tell me.
Vegan ice cream.
Okay. Green can work because it's earth.
Yeah.
I want you to know that why I'm asking, there is a science called the marketing of color, or the colors in marketing. Every color has a meaning, which you're lucky, Pam, that orange is a good color.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were gonna say,
Okay? Okay? Because orange is optimism, is sun rays, it's clarity. This is what you're trying to do.
I like that.
The red can be passion, but it's stop, danger, alert, blood.
That's right.
Yeah.
Why is the Rose Bowl has a red?
But it's very minimal. It's in a rose, and it's not a full block of red. Okay, black. Black is the judge, the robe of a judge, a security guard uniform. It's like stop. It's ethics.
Wow.
It's rigid.
How about the yellow?
It really depends who you're using it for. Like, for example, restaurants have a creamish, yellowish wall because it incites the hunger centers in the brain.
And also like
Bars have light blue because it incites the thirst centers in the brain. My second business that is for women is gold and purple, because purple means loyalty, royalty, excellence, perfection,
Money.
money. Money is green too.
Yeah.
Green is earth, is luck, is the luck of the Irish. It's the earth, it's sustainability, it's environment, it's dollar, it's go. Yes.
What about pink?
Pink is for women. If you're catering for women, all the magenta, the periwinkle, the fuchsia, all this array of colors are for women. Yes.
Okay, like Hulu is green and Netflix is red.
Netflix is not red, it's only the logo letters that in red. You know what I mean? And remember, what did Netflix do?
stop the video.
It disrupted a market.
It did.
They saw Blockbuster.
So it disrupted it by its red color. It's like, you need to pay attention to who I am. That's what Netflix did. It disrupted the market. Huh?
Then what about Hulu?
Hulu is sustainability, is money, is come to me, I'm peace. And that's my difference with Netflix that is red. That's competitive research difference. So I want you to go and research online the meaning of colors in marketing. There is even a video about that.
Okay.
And in branding, your colors should be across. We're going to talk about a brand. Brand should be consistent across the board. And then you have to have your positioning strategy. And that comes back to what we discussed the last time. Are you decreasing in pain, increasing pleasure. And we talked about like 70% of the people will pay for something to decrease their pain rather than increase their pleasure. Are you a solution? Are you filling a gap? All this is positioning. Positioning means like how or where you put your product and service in the market compared to your competition. So these are the points in a marketing, yes, Ron. First thing in marketing is starting, remember we talked everything like a journey. Where you are, taking inventory of where you are, where you want to go, and how you're going to fill that gap, remember? So the first thing that you do is what we call SWOT analysis. And a SWOT analysis is strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And this is ABC marketing. This is the first step, no matter what you do in your marketing. So it has, it's very simple, and I can send you a template for that. You take a picture, you put a cross in the picture. That makes 4 squares, right? So you put SWOT, like here.
Okay.
Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And this tells you where you are. So strengths and weaknesses are personal. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Opportunities and threats are external. What are the opportunities in the market? What are the threats in the market? Why are you laughing? Okay. So, yes.
I'm sorry, strength, weaknesses, and
Opportunities and threats. You can just take a piece of blank paper, draw a cross in the middle, that gives you 4 squares. SWOT.
So we write there our strength, weakness,
Yes.
opportunity, and threat.
And your strength can be your experience, if you are bilingual, if you have digital content. I mean, there is a lot. You have to start thinking, what are your strengths? And then weaknesses, basically what you're not good at, that maybe you can in the future work on to transfer from weaknesses to strength. And then the opportunity, like you said, for example, the business opportunity for Pam is an $8 billion business. You know, my husband was looking yesterday about the diet business industry. It's a $60 billion industry.
Diet?
Diet, yeah, going on a diet and stuff. Yes.